Alright guys, so this is a video that I've been wanting to make for a while. This could possibly help you out in a pinch. I remember when I grew up, we grew up on a farm. We were middle class. One of the things that we did when we were bored was just tear things apart when we were younger boys, and I think young men in general do that very same thing, tear apart lawnmowers, wagons, those little battery powered carts nowadays. We didn't have them back when I was young. A lot of times you weren't gonna pay money to put a weed whacker motor or something back together that you were trying to mess with, so you'd have paper gaskets like these. This one's for a Cummins fuel pump, same thing as like a small block Chevy. So you'd have to make your own, and I had a younger gentleman that I seen trying to cut a gasket with a razor blade, and apparently he's never seen this trick. I don't know how many other people haven't seen this trick, but when we used to work on lawnmowers, we used to get these well, I used to eat cereal, so it used to be cereal, but you get a cereal box and cut it out of a cereal box. And this is a Cliff Bar box because when you get older, you can't eat cereal anymore. So this is what I use. They do make a normal gasket maker. I have used this for work before. I actually had a 55 series Detroit that I had to do an in-frame on, and they didn't make the gaskets for it. A 55 is a very obsolete engine, I guess. It's right when Detroit and Mercedes merged, and they apparently were not a very good engine. They had Mercedes and Detroit diesel parts in them, and they just, I don't know if it was just kind of a flop. I think Freightliner was the major seller of them, and they kind of, I think they did like a buyback, $1,000. You could put a Series 60 in it. So I was going to show you guys how to cut your own gaskets with a hammer, ball peen hammer. This is Old Faithful. This is just some, random single ply cardboard. When I cut these, I usually cut them the smooth side up. And if you do make your own, I recommend using some sort of spray gasket material. Obviously, it's not something you're going to do every day, but I have did it at work. Sometimes you just need a gasket. It's the middle of the night. You got to get something together. And I started to do this one just to, and I'll finish it up. You use the ball peen side of the hammer. And you just kind of tap your way around it, making sure to hold it down. And if you have a smaller ball peen, it'll actually work better for the smaller ball peen will get into these inside radiuses better. Let me finish this up. Okay, so that's our gasket for the most part. Now you can just go ahead. Now what I usually do before I actually did this backwards, I haven't done it in a while. You usually want to get the holes worn out in them first, so it doesn't make the gasket peel any. I mean, I'm not beating on it, like, I'm not going to town on this thing. but you can see it's just, you know, gently kind of tapping on it. If you've got a bolt hole right here, you got two of them actually, there's two bolt holes. You just kind of find where it is. Usually feel it with your finger. I'm just doing this for show purposes because I have no use for this. These LS engines use a steel clad with rubber gasket, but some of these boxes get a little hairy when you hammer them, but there you go. So that's your gasket. This is a thicker gasket. I'm not going to waste it. You guys know, you know, if I can make it out of a cereal box, I'm going to be able to make it out of this, or, you know, shotgun shell box, whatever you have laying around that's big enough that's single ply. This is made to be cut with a hammer. So, I mean, it would just go really fast, and it wouldn't produce these edges here that are on, that are kind of loose. They don't have that fur kind of stuff in them. So when you cut it, it just cuts a straight line. It looks a lot better. So if you guys don't have this, I mean, any auto parts store does have this Felpro gasket material. And it's a good thing to keep around because eventually you'll probably run into an instance where you have to do this. This is flat cut on both sides, and you wouldn't have to apply a sealer to it like this. They make different types of sealers. You can only find something for paper gaskets. So now that that's all done, I showed you guys. Hopefully it's something that you can use eventually, even if it's not, you know, today or tomorrow. Keep it in your memory bank, and then you may be able to use it down the road. I do have a surprise for you guys. That, you know, any of you guys that have stuck around for this long, I've been hinting at some things that we're going to do with this 5.3, and I got one of the pieces to the puzzle here, so I'm going to show you guys real quick. So hold on here. So this is one of the things I've been waiting on. My girlfriend actually bought it for me for my birthday, and some of you guys may know Thick Performance. If you don't, they're really making a lot of waves right now in the performance industry. They have the Grub Worm, which is a sponsored car for them, that is the world's fastest rear-wheel drive car, I think. The only thing that's faster than it is the Red Demon, which is that all-wheel drive DSM. So I've had this out before, but it was quite a pain to get back in. A lot of you guys that are in the into LS cars probably know what it is already, but this is a 1/2-inch head stud plate fixture to do the 1/2-inch head stud drilling on your own. Nobody around me does the 1/2-inch stuff. I've called around, and there's I'd basically be having to travel to Detroit to get it done, and it was $300 to have it done. This plate is $400, I think, and it comes with the fixtures for Gen 4, drill bits, taps, stuff, which is why we got aluminum block. It's supposed to be a little bit easier to do, and for the first one I figured I would get an aluminum block. I don't think, honestly, the head gasket failure on my other engine was my fault. it was something of a prep issue, I don't think that it would have, you know, happened even if I would just got ARPs. But the benefit to these 1/2-inch studs is more clamping force. Obviously, the studs are actually cheaper because they're a standard size. I think I'm just going to give up on this and end the video for you guys. The 1/2-inch studs are cheaper. They're like $200 for a set. So I think ARPs for a normal head stud for an LS is $300 and something. So they're cheaper. I can do them at home. If they're $300 to drill for 1/2-inch, you know, two engines, and then you're golden. So we're gonna do that here soon. We've got another project announcement, which if you guys have been around the channel, you would have seen. It's just something me and my dad are gonna be working on, and it's gonna be a long-term project and needs a lot of work. But I just decided to give it to my dad to work on because he likes old cars, and he's just had a lot of excitement over, you know, possibly building him a car. And I told him I would give him the engine out of A-Bomb to run NA, and I've got a 4L80 for him that we can throw in it whenever we do get it around. So thank you guys for listening to me babble here for the last part of the video. If you enjoyed the content, if you learned something today, please hit the like button. That helps me. And if you're not subscribed, please consider it. We've got some more stuff coming up. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.